Hey y'all, and welcome to Bradley the Singing Chef. Now, if you've been watching my channel by now, you know that one of my loves in the world of food is Mexican cuisine. And I today am going to make a side dish that goes with any Mexican dish that you could ever make. Last week we made some barbacoa in the crock pot that was super easy and amazingly delicious for some tacos or some enchiladas. And today I'm going to make a side dish that would go perfect alongside those. So I hope you'll check out that video right after you've checked out this one. Today we are going to make my version of cheddar chipotle corn casserole. I mean, that just sounds good without even having made it. And it's pretty easy to put together and it's pretty quick to cook. You're going to preheat your oven to 375 degrees, and then you're going to need a an 11 by 8 baking dish here that holds about 2 quarts of anything, so that should work fine for us. What I have here in this ginormous bowl is frozen corn that I have thawed completely. And I have about 5 cups or so of this corn. When you get frozen corn, it is packaged like at its freshest. So for this recipe, it's actually really perfect because you get a lot of bulk corn. You don't really need the starch from the cob like you would if you were making creamed corn for this dish. So I use frozen corn, and then I just pull it out of the freezer, pop it in this bowl, let it sit on the countertop until it is thawed out. So there's our corn, 4 to 5 cups of corn. To this, I am going to add a cup of shredded cheese. Any of your choosing. I'm using kind of a combination of Colby Jack and cheddar today. Goes into that bowl, along with a cup of heavy cream. Get that all in there. I don't want to leave any heavy cream out because heavy cream, right? All right, so there's my cream into the bowl. Then I'm going to use 2 eggs. I'm just gonna quickly crack into this bowl. There's 1 and 2. And I'm just gonna take a fork and pierce the yolks, scramble those just a little bit before I dump them into the bowl with all the other goodies. 2 whole eggs into the mix. Put that to the side. And now for the magic ingredient. I mentioned the barbacoa that I made the other day because I make this side dish alongside that quite often because it uses this wonderful magical ingredient of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. This went into our crock pot for the barbacoa, and I only used 3 of the peppers from this can, so there are still 3 or 4 left in here. So rather than to waste those, I'm gonna take at least 2 of these, depending on their size. I'm gonna mince those up and put those into this dish. That's the chipotle part. Nice, smoky flavor with a little kick of heat in the background is beautiful in this casserole. So, got my chopping knife here. Just gonna take out 1, 2, I'm gonna do 3 of these peppers. Put that there on my cutting board, and then just mince by running your knife through one direction, through all of those. I'm gonna turn my cutting board and go the other direction a little bit finer. I wanna break them down pretty small because you don't want just a giant piece of these peppers as you're eating the casserole. So I do want to actually mince, not just chop. So run your knife through several times, breaking all those peppers down. Now I'm using 3, you could use 2 if you want a little less heat. You could use maybe 4. I don't want it to overpower the cheese and the corn, so that's why I'm using 3. All right, into the bowl. Those go. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna wash my board, wash my hands, and we'll be right back to assemble everything together. All right, y'all, we are back. I cleaned up my station a little bit to make some room for some elbow grease, and we're going to put together all the ingredients that we put in the bowl. We've got the corn, we've got the cream, we've got the cheese, we've got the chipotle peppers. The last thing I'm gonna need is some seasoning. And all I'm using is a pretty heavy pinch of kosher salt. It's a lot of corn, so I wanna season it really well. Then a pretty heavy pinch of black ground pepper into the bowl, and then we stir all that goodness together. You want to make sure that you get those chipotle peppers especially kind of running through all of the rest of the mixture. Oh yeah. Pull that through, separate those peppers, get them in. Pull from the bottom to make sure that you get all of the corn covered in the cream, surrounded by the cheese and the peppers. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. It's gonna be so cheesy, smoky. That's perfect. All right, so I've got my 11 by 8 dish over here. I'm gonna take a little bit of cooking spray and coat the pan, just so that if the bottom layer happens to have some cheese on it, when it melts, it won't just totally stick to the bottom of the pan. And then, now that we've stirred everything together, it just dumps right in to the baking dish. Oh gosh, that looks so good. Mash it all around. Get every last bit of that mixture into your baking dish. And that recipe is as simple as that. It's literally just mixing some stuff together into a bowl, and then I'm gonna just make these lovely morsels of corn, an even layer in my casserole dish. One tiny sprinkle of salt, and a tiny sprinkle of black pepper. And that is going to go into my 375 degree preheated oven. It's gonna bake for 30 to 40 minutes or so. I'm gonna check it right about 5 minutes before that time is up, and I'm gonna sprinkle an extra little layer of cheese over the top, because who doesn't want more cheese in their life, much less in their casserole? All right, I'm gonna pop this in the oven, and I will see you when it is nice and gooey and ready to eat. We'll be right back. Hey y'all, welcome back. I have just taken this amazing cheddar chipotle corn casserole out of the oven. It smells so, so good. And I've gotta let you take a look at what we wind up with here. Look at that. Took it out of the oven about 5 minutes before it was done. Took about 40 minutes total. Sprinkled a little extra cheese on top, and you can see those beautiful red flecks of that chipotle pepper running all throughout the cheesy goodness. And I just have to take a little sample, see how we did. It's just enough set up because of those eggs in there. Let's give it a taste. Salty, savory, cheesy, smoky, all the things, all in one beautiful side dish that is perfect. Honestly, I've served this with Mexican food usually, like I said, because I use the chipotle peppers when I make the barbacoa that I make. But I've also served this with like barbecue or barbecue ribs or even fried chicken as a beautiful option as a side dish. It honestly works with anything you could think of as a main dish. And like I showed you, it's pretty simple to put together, right? I hope you'll try this one for yourself. It's a side dish I think you're gonna want again and again and again. Eat well, love always, bon appetit, y'all. Thanks for joining me on Bradley the Singing Chef.